What's up, guys? Welcome to A. Williams Productions. It's AJ here, and today we'll be working with Adobe Aero and Cinema 4D to create augmented reality experiences. This is really interesting. So, I worked with the Adobe Aero tool when it was in a beta stage while I worked for Lockheed Martin, and back then it was really interesting, even still. But just to bring in files was a little convoluted. So you had to save out Illustrator files in the right format, and then you had to bring them in Cinema 4D, make sure all the normals and everything were accurate, make sure all your faces were good, and then bring it into Adobe Aero. And it was just a lot. And at the time, they didn't have animations, so it's really interesting to see how, the app has grown. And augmented reality is really interesting right now. In DC, we have places like Renwick and Arteca House, which have, augmented reality experiences. So today we'll be working with logos and also spheres, how to get some of these things, how to bring in animations, and how to also bring in your logo. So let's go ahead and just jump straight in. So the great thing about R25 is you can just go ahead and bring in Illustrator files straight to the program. So if I go find my logo, you go to File, Merge, and then just find that file, and already I have the outlines. So let's go to drop to floor, and we have the floor. And we're going to select this and just focus on the AW. All right. So let's go ahead and grab an extrude, pop that into the extrude. All right, let's move it to Z, and let's make sure our alcohol is checked. All right, we're gonna go 2, and let's go to caps, and let's go 0.5. So might even go 0.2. All right, this is really nice. Make sure you add caps to your objects and different things like that. So light actually reflects upon it better, more to like real life. So we're good with that. Now we have very quickly our object brought into Cinema 4D. So let's go ahead and create an object, material, and for Adobe Aero, they only work with the color and reflectance channel. And when you add too complicated of a texture, like too many gradients and different things like that, you're going to go ahead and need to bake your texture. So let's just call this logo, pick a color. Cool. All right. Now let's go ahead, go to our texture, and let's just go ahead and make a gradient. I'm going to go ahead and show you. We're going to bake the texture. So if you want just a normal color, that's fine, but we're going to go ahead and show a more difficult process. So I like to find a color that I like, copy that color and put it back into the next node, and then go into the color wheel. You can use one of these to find a complementary color. That way you're not just always working with things that like colors that don't necessarily make sense. So I'm gonna increase the turbulence, go down here, hit layer, click into that shader, and we're gonna go to effect, distort. I'm gonna use an electric noise and increase the strength. All right. So this is the color texture that we're working with. And then we're going to go down to reflectance and remove that. We're going to add a Beckman maximum. All right. And the 3 channels that they play with are roughness, reflection, and specular. Layer color, layer mask, and Fresnel, you don't have to even, worry about. And if the object won't, like Adobe Aero really won't help it mimic any reflections from your natural scene, but if you increase the reflectance, they'll at least give it or kind of cheat that effect. All right. And let me see. Let's try average. Cool. Let me just lower this. All right. Now we're going to just label this logo. Go to object. Make sure, just right click. Where is select children. Then go to object, bake object. So single material, put in 2048 by 2048. So you can go higher, but this is a 2K texture. So textures like square sizes are the best, and they work best in increments of 8. So put a location, we're gonna hit bake. Cool. So now we have another logo. Let's put logo final. All right. And if you open this, we now have our objects that are now textured. Now we're going to go to File, Export, FBX. So this works best for me. It's FBX files. All right. Settings should be good. There's no animation. Material is already baked. We'll just save this on the desktop, and we'll put logo, Aero. So label your file whatever you want. We're going to jump into Adobe Aero, and let's go to File, New. Want to just go to Home. So Adobe Aero is a part of the Creative Cloud. So if you don't have it or you don't see it originally, just go ahead and jump right here into your cloud. Go into your applications. Then you should be able to see everything. So from here, we can just go ahead and open Adobe Aero. Create new Aero tutorial. All right, and we're gonna go find that FBX file. All right, and 1, 2, and 3 are how you navigate. 1 allows you to rotate. 2, it's like a pan, and 3 allows you to zoom in. And as you can see, our object now still has that texture, so that's really cool. And you can also go ahead and preview this. All right, so that's really nice. So I'll show you what this looks like in the real world using the app. All right, guys. So now we are going to create an animation using MoGraph and export it to Adobe Aero. So the good thing about, well, not the good thing, Adobe Aero does not work with MoGraph and its effectors and different things like that. So if you have animations, you need to bake them out just like how you bake out the textures. So this is just one more additional step. Just how you bake out the textures, you had a duplicate copy. You'll also have a duplicate copy for the animation. So let's go ahead and just set up our animation real quickly. So let's go do a sphere. Let's do 15, 45. Go look at my lines. It's dense, cool. Let's grab a cloner. And now I'll just set this up. All right, so we have good distance. They're not touching. So now let's go ahead and grab an effector, random effector, and increase that strength, our parameters. All right, I don't want them too far. And for our scale, uniform scale, increase that scale. All right, and now we are going to go to simulate, grab a wind, and go back to simulate and grab a turbulence. So now we have our wind, move that back. We're gonna increase that wind to about 45, our turbulence around 25, and then our turbulence we're gonna put it at about 60. Let me do 42. All right, that's good. And on our cloner, we're gonna go jump into, click on a cloner, right click it, simulation tags, and rigid body tags. So everything should normally populate in R25 how you would want it, but let's just double check. Apply tag to children, all. And for shape, let's just go ahead and click automatic MoGraph dynamics. So for our forces, let's put that anywhere between 6 and 8. So I'll just do 7, but anything, between like 6 and 10 should be good. So the follow position will allow the objects to animate and react, but still stay in place. And let's just increase that wind. So before we do that, we need more frames. So I just added 250 frames. All right. So that's cool. And let's add a little more turbulence. All right, I like that. Smooth it out. All right, so before we do that, hit Command D or Control D. In the frames per second, put 25. Go up here to your render settings and also in the frame rate, put 25. So these two numbers need to match up. And let's put 250. Let's go ahead and add 250. So that's nice, simple math. That's the reason I did it. And we're gonna go jump back into our render settings and add all frames. All right, so everything's lined up. All right, so let's go ahead and play that animation. Things moving, cool. So let's just go ahead and copy the texture that we have from here. Control V, and let's just place it on our objects. Now we're going to go to Window, Timeline, Dope Sheet. So you can go to either one, but I like Dope Sheet. And we're going to drag in our cloner and go to Functions, Bake Objects. And you want to include the position, scale, and rotation. All right. So I've now have just cloned so we have our animation. You want to turn off the original one. Cool. All right, now you want to bake out the texture. So cloner copy, select children, object, go to bake object. Now we're baking out that texture. Same, everything's good. Bake object. All right, again, you know when we're done, when we have our copy. So we can close that. And we have our animation, we have our texture, cool. Let's go to File, Export, again, FBX, Animation, Tracks, Bake All Tracks. Materials are good. And let's call this Spheres, Animation, Final. All right, now let's export it. Now let's go back and jump back into Adobe Aero. Let's find the file. All right, so 1, 2, and 3 again allow you to move within your scene. Now we have our textures. And let's try to see if our animation saved out. So we see our texture saved out, which is cool. Animation, let's do a test. Let's click on that in our layer panel and let's go to add trigger. Let's go to start. So as soon as the action starts, the video starts, and I'm going to loop the animation. Action, play animation. All right, cool. Now we see a difference. The clip now has the animation. So let's just play it. And that's pretty cool. All right. So say we want to loop it. So say we can play with things like speed. Let's do 1.5. And let's do infinite. So this would be a good place to, loop your animations in Cinema 4D, or a good time. So if you had a seamless loop, using the infinite, let me see. Let's see if this allows it to be more of a seamless loop. Yeah, by ping ponging, so that's really cool. So yeah, so just play with these settings, guys. It'll allow you to bring in all type of different animations, play with animations. Even with the logo I had, you could still have animated it using these same methods, even within Adobe Aero. Just say you want to spin the logo and different things like that. But yeah, guys, so that's our tutorial. If you like this, pretty much like and subscribe. Follow me at A. Williams Productions on Instagram, and also follow me at A. Williams Productions. Go to my website at awilliamsproductions.com. You can find a lot of downloadable content. I have free free packs, a lot of stock footage and drone packs that are out now. So if you have any ideas that you want me to tackle next, just drop them below in a comment. And if you have any questions, I'll of course try to answer and help out as best as I can. So till next time.